I have surgery this morning.
That's, I mean...
Am I interviewing? Are you interviewing me?
Yeah, I'm going to interview you. Okay, it is 6:53 Monday morning. Why are we in the car? Where are we going and why?
Well, because I have surgery this morning. I'm so excited and I'm already hungry. I was diagnosed the end of May with melanoma. I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise because it runs in my family. I have moles that have always looked abnormal. So since college, I've always gone to a dermatologist, had moles removed every year, and most of them have been on the atypia scale. So I guess it's not bad that I'm 50 and just now having my first diagnosis. Anyway, I'm hoping this will be my last. So we are headed to UNC Oncology, and I will have a radioactive dye injection that will help the surgeon see where my leg drains into, which lymph nodes, because they are doing a sentinel node biopsy to make sure that it has not traveled and spread to my lymph nodes. So if that one sentinel node is clear and free of cancer, then that means that there's no cancer anywhere else, because it has to go through that node. What else? And then I have to wait, unfortunately, until 2:40 for my surgery. So we're going to wait about 5 hours until I actually have surgery. So I have not eaten since midnight. I'm already hungry. So this will be a day of fasting for me. And we have lots of entertainment packed for the wait.
So what have you done to prepare for today?
Emotionally, I've prayed a lot. I have lots of friends praying for me today, and that warms my heart dearly. I have physically, I've been taking a supplement called Pathology C, which, as it was described to me, is supposed to act like a sponge to kind of absorb any kind of cancer cells that might would want to try to jump away during surgery. It supposedly helps to stop the spread. And I have also done some juicing. A friend came over Saturday to help me because I had no idea what I was doing. Another now friend from California loaned me, or actually gifted me, a juicer. I've never met her, but I'm very grateful for someone who wanted to gift the juicer to someone else who had a cancer diagnosis and wanted to speed their recovery. So we'll hope, I have enough juice in the freezer for one 16-ounce glass every day for about 2 weeks. So hopefully that will speed recovery. And it's known as a way of preventing cancer and that kind of thing.
So the Pathology C is a modified citrus pectin, correct?
That's what the bottle says, yes.
And which was something that I learned in this process. It's really a potassium supplement, which I tend to not think about potassium when talk about citrus fruits. But anyhow, so that was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got about an hour-long drive, depending upon traffic. That's it for now.
we're in step 2 of the process, and I've had the injections done. Yes, they were quite painful, and it was 6 of them, but thankfully the dye traveled very quickly to the lymph node in question so that they could scan it and mark it for the surgeon. So now we wait. We've had a little bit of hope that they might call us back early, so I've stopped drinking with that hope. Hopefully that will be called back early. Oh, what's that mean? Yeah. Listening for my name. So now we wait. It could be as late as 2:40. That's when I'm scheduled, but I'm kind of hoping they'll speed it up a little bit.
I say now you called back early.
Well, not really. I mean, if it doesn't mean I can do surgery earlier, it doesn't do any good to be back here early. But at least things are moving.
It's 2 days after. We're home. I did not take any footage of recovery. Felt like it was more important to see how she was doing, get post-op care, and get her home. And I did not take the time yesterday with everything else I had going on to just sort of do this. So we're now 48 hours after surgery.
I think it went well. It was my first time actually having real surgery. So I really didn't know what to expect. I would say the dye injections were worse than I thought it would be. But it was tolerable. My little squishy things in my hands got me through. And then surgery itself, I mean, obviously I wasn't awake for any of it, so it was a good sleep. And the after pain has been quite minimal. I think once we take the bandage off tonight, which I still have dye. We're still trying to figure out the dye on there. I don't know if that's seeping out of my skin. I don't know. But once we take this off, I can tell that it's getting irritated. It's just dry. It needs Vaseline. So I'm actually anxious to take the bandages off and see what the wound looks like. I have no idea how big it is. So, and the incision for the lymph nodes is a little irritating just because it's glue, and as the swelling has shrunk, so has the tape or the glue, and it's drawing my skin in with it. But it's actually been a very smooth process, and now we're just waiting for the test results.
What did they do exactly when they got in there?
They made an incision. When I had the injection of the radioactive dye, it kind of created a map. The drainage system it showed naturally where my lymph nodes drain into, or I guess which lymph nodes my leg drains into. And so they made a little mark so they knew where to go. So they took 2 lymph nodes out to biopsy to see if there was any cancers that had spread already from the melanoma. And then they removed, I guess I have no idea how big it is, but it's generally in that area is where the melanoma was. And so they went back to make sure they could clear the margins and get all of the cells that were actually in my leg.
Post-op, what's life been like?
I've sat in the recliner a lot, and I've done a lot of texting of friends, just catching them up on how I was doing. Now trying to figure out what I can and can't eat, because an added bonus to all this is that I've been taking a supplement that research has shown helps to prevent the spread of those cancer cells during surgery, but it's very high in potassium, and apparently my kidneys have not filtered out as properly as it should. So the potassium in my blood is above normal, which has my nephrologist not feeling very good about it. So now I'm on a low potassium diet on top of all the other diet restrictions. So that's a fun balance to try to figure out what I can eat.
I have to be gluten-free, dairy-free because I have Hashimoto's, which is under control and actually is in remission, but it's probably because I've been very strict with my diet the past 2 years. I want to prevent future autoimmune issues, so I'm pretty strict about that. And in the process of discovering that I had Hashimoto's, we also discovered that I have an intolerance to a food group called fructans. You can research FODMAPs and find that. And it's hard to put all of those foods into one category just because it's onions, it's garlic, it's bananas, it's watermelon. None of them really fit nicely into one package. So I'm constantly having to look back at a list of, okay, wait a minute, is this a fructan? I can't remember. So I'm just supposed to keep those limited. Otherwise I have some, GI issues, just bloating and stuff that I have to work with.
Were there any post-op complications?
Oh yeah, I guess I just had some insomnia. It was 12:30 and I don't know what time you went to bed. You were like finally at 10:30, like I'm going to bed, can't wait. So I was up till 12:30, still wasn't tired, decided I'd try to go to sleep. I only slept about 2.5 hours, but I slept well last night. So I assumed that after surgery the anesthesia would still kind of be in your body and you'd be really tired, but not the case with me. That 1 hour of sleep must have done me good. And I didn't need any more.
Okay, so the immediate plan is today you change this dressing for the first time.
Yes.
And then we just await results of biopsy.
Yep, hopefully in another couple of days.
Man, those squirrels are making a ton of noise. It has been, my goodness, Kate, I don't know if y'all can hear that on the camera. It's very distracting to me at this moment. It's been almost 2 weeks since the surgery, and we need to just sort of give you some final updates on some things. So why don't you go ahead and tell them about your pathology report?
Yes, we got good news. The margins are clear on the melanoma incision. Well, not incision, where they cut out a really big hole in my leg, where they took out the tumor. The margins are clear, and the lymph node biopsy came back clear of cancer as well. So there's no melanoma anywhere as far as we know. So that was good news.
So praise the Lord on that.
Yes.
So in recovery from the surgery, there's been a couple of bumps, literally. And figuratively. So you want to talk about those?
Yes, the incision where they remove the lymph node has developed what's called a seroma, or a fluid collection of fluid. The way I describe it, picture a golf ball in size and hardness. For starters, and then usually it expands to a greater area of swelling as well. So it appears that it's going to come and go based on my activity level, how much I've been able to apply heating pad and compression that day. It went about 4 days where there was no improvement, it just got bigger and bigger. But my surgeon wanted to drain it, but he said there's a lot of risk. A lot of times seromas reabsorb into the body on their own naturally. And if you choose to go ahead and try aspirating it with a needle, you usually end up having to do that repeatedly. Sometimes a drain device having to be inserted with tubes, etc. Not somewhere I want to go. So yesterday it was nice. I thought it was kind of miraculous. It was really big. It had doubled in size when I went to the gym, and I was hoping it would help it. I applied some more heat, went and ran some errands at the grocery store, and while I was in there I noticed that it had just went away, completely gone, flat. But now, in the few hours following, it did start to refill again. So I'm encouraged that it did go away with heat, compression, and some exercise. So now I guess I'll just keep repeating that, hoping that will work. I don't know how long it's going to take for that cycle of absorbing and then refilling. everything I'm reading on the Mr. Google says it can take up to a year for the body to naturally reabsorb. So hopefully it's not going to be that long.
And of course, moving forward, I think we've already talked about, but is there anything else you want to mention from a dietary, personal products, cleaning products, any of those things that you want to mention?
Well, I decided to overhaul any skin products that have contact with skin, lotions, shampoos, soaps, and we have started on kind of the laundry thing. Dish soap, we haven't gotten to all of it, but we made priority for cosmetics and skincare stuff, and just using a website that's known for being able to distinguish what chemicals are clean and healthy and safe. I'm going to do as much of a plant-based diet as possible. I'm not going to completely remove meat, but I am going to reduce red meat, pork, and beef. Stick mostly to chicken, which is what we tend to do anyway. But try to make my plate a lot more full of vegetables and fruits on a regular basis. Just research shows that helps with cancer prevention. It's just healthy. Antioxidants, free radicals, and all that. We're getting rid of the free radicals.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you had melanoma, which is on the skin, and there's not been a lot of research from a dietary standpoint in relationship to melanoma, but because cancer has been in your body, increases the likelihood of it occurring in some other place, some other way.
Correct.
So that's why you're like, all right, so we've tried to be healthy, now we're being super healthy and cautious.
Yes.
But I'm still going to raise pigs one day. And I'll just eat all the pork. And we still need to get chickens.
Yes.
Just not here, unfortunately. But that's a digression. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching this video. Not the normal fare here. We appreciate you looking at the update on this journey, and just for every time that you watch it. Even though it's not the normal thing, please do us a favor, go on down and give it a thumbs up, give it a like. It'll help YouTube to recommend it to other people, and share it with somebody who may need to be encouraged themselves. While you're down there, go ahead and subscribe. Ordinarily, I'd close this video by just reminding you about how the one who created you made you able to create. But with this one, I want to remind you to give glory to the one who created you.
Amen.
See you next time.